Hi guys. Welcome to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. Oh my god. It makes it so hard to speak. Damn. I hope you guys are doing good on this rainy Saturday. Last night was a beaver moon, which is every November of every year. That's the name of it. But it was also a super moon, which is extra powerful, right? We feel the impact of the full moon. We feel the energies 10 times more stronger. And, you know, changes and the big shifts of what we need to focus on for this month and the rest of the year. A super moon to me is you know, the big changes that we are going through, or not wanting to go through, but the energy is literally doing it for us, you know. You could either be stubborn and like hold back and try to still have control, or just let go and just go with the flow, you know. And yeah, it's, you know, when it's full moons, it's a few days before, a few days after, where it's still residual. So I would say it could be 5 to 6 days before the actual super moon or the full moon, where you're gonna start feeling it. And then after, the day after, it could take up to 2 weeks, honestly. But since it's the super moon, these changes are gonna happen, I would say maximum up to 3 months from now. Just depending where you're at in life. And yeah, I feel really emotional today. I feel very grateful. I could really feel God, and I just feel blessed. I feel blessed to damn to finally feel comfortable in my own skin in every way, emotionally, spiritually, like show my authentic self, and I guess allowing myself to do that. And it's not just within me, but, you know, how would I explain it? It's not changes around me, but it all comes together, right? And that's the universe. You know, that's your guides, that's your ancestors, your angels, God, that are all playing a part into this in little ways, and messages that you see in the universe on a daily basis, dreams, you know, just thoughts in your head. It's so important to be super like present within you and the outside world. It's super important to, you know, be awake and not just be lost in another world, right? I just feel really grateful, and you know, we pray for things and circumstances to change. We pray for changes in our life, positive changes. And even though most of the times it's not gonna be easy changes, even though the outcome is gonna be positive, that's when we really have to go with the flow of things, and spiritually, you know, have that, you know, faithfully be faith driven, and staying like stay believing that it's actually gonna happen. You know, like you feel it's coming, you feel that blessing or blessings, you feel the changes, and you want it, and you know, like you're so anxious and like excited for it to like already show up. And you know, it's really important to still keep our faith in these moments. You know, and sometimes, a lot of the times, blessings aren't like material things. And also blessings could be, you know, people that are not good for you in your life, people that have harmed you in your life, that are still in your life, especially if it's really close friendships or relationships with family members. I feel the more I come into my divine feminine, the more, like, how would I word it? It's not the more real I am, or the more authentic, I guess, the more I show myself to the world. And that to me is putting myself on camera. Because on a daily basis, which I don't do because I get drained very easily energetically by people, and I hate small talk. You know, a lot of people are like that, or trained to be like that. I don't like that. Like, I don't care for it. I want to know like deep stuff. I want to talk deep. Like that's me automatically. But I guess just speaking my truth, you know, I'm more consistent, I guess, in my energy, instead of hiding myself. And I'm very happy with that, even though, you know, if I enter somewhere or I meet new people, I'm gonna be myself. I'm not gonna be, this is how we should act or this is how we should be. Like if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And if I'm being awkward or weird or it's not socially acceptable, oh well. And I guess I just feel, you know, I feel proud of myself and I feel happy and thankful. Because it's not just me. I mean, I have my whole spiritual team behind me, above me, who is pushing me and guiding me in a loving way to step forward. And I'm taking bigger steps now. And I'm starting to see like more clear. I'm starting to actually like move the clouds and starting to see what my future holds. And that's just like, it's the best feeling ever, right? It's movement. When for a long time, I mean, almost my whole life, I've always felt stuck because I could never be myself. I could never show my face like how I am now, but show who I really am. I feel very happy and at peace. I know there's a lot of work to be done, but there's better days ahead. And I'm very, I guess, sentimental because it just feels good to be out of the storm now, you know? I've had storms, like, I've been in it for, like, the longest time. And it's not struggling financially or, you know, it's more of, I guess, I consider myself to be like a chosen one. I'm not your typical person. I'm a giver, so I pour so much into things and people, and you know, people expect for me to give, and people are not thankful. And I've never been given anything. There's always a motive behind it, you know? I've been around a lot of darkness And I know there's a purpose and for that. Like, I've been in the darkness because my mission here on earth, my purpose, one of my purposes is to be comfortable in the darkness, in people's shadows, and take them out of there. Like, I could sit with you in a dark room in that mental, emotional, fucked up state you're in, and I'm a healer. I could take you out of there if you are willing to receive my help, you know? I guess I see my worth, you know. I've always considered myself a giver and someone who just loves hard, and a helper, and someone who has a good heart, you know, and likes to help in every way. I'm very intuitive and psychic, and like, I know without knowing, you know. People come to me for advice, and I've never ever received that unless there was like a motive behind it, a selfish motive, you know. And I've come to peace with that. You know, sometimes you find good people and they just out of nowhere, like you get along with them and you vibe, and then out of nowhere they ghost you. It's not easy being who I am. People leave my life all the time, and I know that's part of my purpose, but it sucks, you know. Sometimes we need to be given to. And I'm not talking materialistically. You know, we need those affirmations because we never get it. We never receive it. I'm learning how to receive, but I just clearly see my purpose in this world, and it feels amazing, you know. And that is why I'm so emotional. It just puts you in a place. I mean, of course, it's a lot of responsibility, and we're not perfect. I'm human, and I'm still learning, you know. I'm still healing from a lot of things, and you know, sometimes you're gonna let things, your emotions or things that you still need to work on, take over. And that's okay. It's okay to it's okay to show your feelings, to express yourself, because like, thankfully I'm not there anymore, but I used to always suppress my feelings, my thoughts. Even though I was right, other people would not believe me because I'm me, because they don't like me or they don't accept me. I've been I've been around a lot of bullies and just people that just hate. They hate your light. They hate who you are, your authenticity. They hate how you are as a person, your personality, you know, how you speak, like anything. You know, I've always been hated on. I've never had an authentic person. Maybe for a short time, but then they turn on you. No matter who it is, friends or family, co-workers, classmates. You know, it's any random person who you see at least twice a week or whatever. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a big, big burden. Sometimes, you know, just holding this power and this, like, being able to see and heal people and do what you do. It's a really big responsibility. So when we have personal things going on in our life and we have like a purpose to be in their lives, because there's no coincidences, there's always a reason. But it could be, you know, it could be an outside person, a classmate, a coworker, just someone random you see, right? Weekly or monthly or whatever. Those people won't affect you too much. But sometimes, you know, like recently I've been having issues with control and just overthinking, and I've been having triggers due to like love interests. And you know, when things like this occur, you just have to work on it, you know. Take it in, reflect on it. Why am I feeling like this? What was it, right? Was it a word? Was it a feeling, an energy, a silence? What was it that triggered me? Why do I feel like this? How do I feel and what I feel? What exactly do I feel? And, you know, work on it. We're never gonna be fully healed. There's always gonna be work that we have to do. And that's part of self-love and self-care. People that are not, how would you word it, spiritually, I guess, clean, I don't mess with those people. People who don't take that extra time, like if it's brushing your teeth, you know, just like having your time with God. You know, you don't have to read the Bible, but having that quality time with God every day. If you don't have that quality time with your like mental and emotional state, your physical state, you know, it's spiritual hygiene. That's what I'm talking about. And that's not a good person. Like, not that it's not a good person, but they're gonna have a lot of things, and as an empath, I can't be around people like that. I am a person who will absorb your energy, take in your baggage automatically. That's why it's always been so hard to be in relationships. It's always been a battle to deal with my family. For majority of my life, I've always held my mom's baggage, emotional baggage, mental baggage, because that's how I guess I showed my love towards her. And I love her, and but that's not my responsibility. Even as her daughter, as a mother myself, you do tend to hold your children's baggage, right? But not 100%. It's not your responsibility. My family knows the strength and the power that I have. Not fully, but they know who I am, and they've always known. And they've always, put me down and made me feel so bad in my life that so I don't see my worth. And there's always a purpose with God, right? He's always gonna. That is why I'm so emotional, because God is finally revealing me to the world, and only I can feel that, obviously, right? I'm accepting of myself. I am able to show myself and be authentic and show and not be afraid of speaking. It took me a few videos the past few days to actually feel more at ease. But that's just, it's part of the journey of a chosen one, of a divine, masculine or feminine. It's part of our journeys. God has always hidden us in plain sight, to say. Hidden us in front of people. I've been around a lot of bad people. Demonic people. Spiritually unclean people. And I am the type of person who would still sit with them and accept who they are, because I see them 100%. I see all their demons. I see the good and the bad that they have within. And I'm still able to sit down next to you and accept you for who you are, and still help you through all that. I'm like the last option you have before you receive your karma, because you don't want to change. That's who I am in people's lives. I'm either a blessing or a lesson. And for so long, I've always knew, but being surrounded by so much negativity and hate, and people just putting me down, no matter how little my blessing is, still putting me down, trying to put me down, like you're not enough, that's not enough. It took a lot of strength to gain that back. And only by God's grace and my ancestors and angels of the highest white light, you know, they've always been by my side. But to finally close this karmic cycle, this thing of like my whole life, it's a bittersweet sweet feeling. You know, my attachment towards my family is not so strong as a month or two ago. And I've been asking, praying for so long. And I've cut my family off before, you know. But then I come back. My excuse is I'm a single mother who has a 3-year-old boy, and I don't have support. So I have my family here, right? I moved to, I grew up here, and I moved to Minnesota in 2016. I can't breathe. I'm having hard trouble breathing the past few days. I know it's not my energy. Someone really needs to release their feelings so they could breathe. So I moved to Minnesota in 2016. I wanted to get out of the States, I wanted to get away from family and just experience life. I was 22 and I stayed there for a few years, and I met my son's father, and things were going good until it wasn't. I got pregnant and we got engaged, and at 6 months of my pregnancy, he switched up on me. He showed his true colors. A lot of narcissistic tendencies, very narcissistic. I don't think he's a narcissist, but I think he was raised by one, so he has those traits in him. And from there on, it was hell, And I had my son. There was a lot of unfaithfulness, a lot of mental and emotional abuse and gaslighting. And it was one of the worst times of my life, because when a woman is pregnant, that's like the most vulnerable state she will ever be in. You're carrying a child. And it wasn't the fact that I was in this type of relationship with him, because I've never had a healthy connection with the opposite sex. Never had a healthy relationship. So it was just, I guess, hell, because I was carrying my child, a pure, innocent baby. And that's what broke me, you know? And how is someone capable of treating you in such a way that you don't care for that unborn child? You know, and I lost myself because I was protecting my son throughout my pregnancy. Everything's connected to that child, you know? And my mission was just to protect my son in my womb. You know, from that point on. And it's been 3.5 years, 4 years actually, where I've been broken. That literally broke my heart, you know? That did it for me, and that's how I had my first spiritual awakening. Because I hit rock bottom in my life. And thankfully, I went to a Reiki. I registered for a Reiki 1 to get my certification in September. And and that's when the Reiki practitioner, Emily Rose, did like an attunement, energetic attunement, and just, you know, untangled things within me, you know, saw my chakras and all that. And it's just crazy, like, you know, I saw how it happened. It was like a visual in my head, you know. It was like my mind is here and I'm seeing, and, you know, spiritually I'm like visualizing it's clear there's nothing there, and she's doing all this stuff, and I see red, you know, like the whole room is red, and I see my son right there, like if I'm behind my son, and I see his little body, and I see his heart, right? I see inside his heart, it's pumping, it's red, there's blood, and I just see sadness around the whole situation, right? And that's, you know, that's a heart chakra. And that really, by her doing that, which I'm so grateful, I was guided to meet her. By her doing that, I started healing that, because, you know, sometimes you're not aware. You go through so many things, you're not aware how big the impact is, right? Yes, this happened, this experience, it was traumatic, it was sad, but you don't know where to start healing. And, you know, just, I guess, like, I believe, you know, when a woman's pregnant, the child feels everything. And I guess that was the hardest part, is that I could protect my child physically, but mentally and emotionally, in a sense, I couldn't, because he was feeling everything. My depression, my sadness, just everything, you know? And when he came into this world, it's like he doesn't have a father. He has one, but he's not a father, right? He's not gonna have that good role model, that good man, that good example in his life. You know, and we are responsible for who we have kids with, but you know, once my son was born, I think you know, things were just not getting better in the household, and he was, you know, his dad was not helping at all. I was basically a single mom already before my son was born because I was still working and everything. And yeah, I left, I guess. I left, I got on an airplane with suitcases, mostly my son's clothes and, you know, things, when my son was 3 months old. And I left, and because I was threatened, you know, things weren't going good. He wasn't helping, and he wasn't there. He never changed a diaper since my son was born. And I was like, okay. You know, I had a very small amount of like faith, maybe. Because my parents, you know, my parents separated when I was 9 years old. And I didn't have a father figure in my home, or I didn't have my dad, right? I had my stepfather. But I never had a good role model. And I guess I was just taking what, I guess emotionally I was telling myself, well, he might change when my son is born. He's gonna be more committed and willing, you know, and I was gonna be fine with that. I was pregnant, you know, you have so many, you have hormones, you have so much going on, you know. And that's what I was thinking, you know. So, you know, my son was born and things weren't getting better. I started going through postpartum, and I was already emotionally not stable. And, you know, one day, you know, I told my son's father, hey, I think it would be better if I went to stay with my family in Oregon for some time, because you're not helping, and, you know, they're gonna be helping me. Like, I was a new mother. Not that I had a supportive family either, but I would be getting a half-ass support. Better than nothing, right? And he threatened me, you know. He said, you could leave, but my son stays here. Typical douchebag thinking, right? And that was like my last straw. And I don't know where you know, I got the strength and the courage, and obviously it was my angels, ancestors of the highest white light, and God's, that they gave me the strength and the courage to to be able to leave, physically leave, go get on an airplane and come all the way over here, 3.5-hour flight. but just the strength to do it, you know, it just amazes me to this day. How was it possible? How did I do it? You know, and it's obviously the love I have for my son, and you know, I just let go, and I let God and my angels and ancestors help me. You know, they gave me this sign, like this 911 sign of like, you need to get out of here as soon as possible. You know, this energy of like, you need to get out of here. It took me, I think it took me like 2 weeks to prep everything, and I left. And that's been, you know, that took a big toll on me for a while. And just trying to balance still having communication and a civil relationship with my son's father on FaceTime, you know, text message, phone calls, so he could see his child through the camera, through the phone, but also starting to heal from all what happened, what he did. It takes longer to heal from that, instead of not having that person in your life. It's way easier to heal. Excuse me. So yep. It's getting chilly. Alright. So I think that's it for today. I did not post yesterday, so I might do a video later. Or not. You guys have a blessed night. Blessed afternoon. I think it's still afternoon. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.